In all the years I've known you, I don't think I've actually heard you swear. So
Really?
Well, probably how, and I probably forgot it because it was you. But right, so you mentioned what to quite a lot of your fans would be probably an iconic address, Lavender Hill. Is that where the journey began with stereo MCs?
It actually began on Sisters Avenue, which is also in Battersea,
Okay.
which is off Lavender Hill. But Lavender Hill, well, like Battersea used to be quite hardcore.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, back in the day, because now it became the second Chelsea, but back in the day it was quite a rough area.
See, I thought it was quite a nice area until you lot moved in and took all the trouble with you.
Yeah, Lavender Hill. I mean, that's where I met London Posse.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
we used to see them at the bus stop. Mm-hmm. Mello, I think I met Mello on Lavender Hill.
Yeah, Mello's not far from there.
They used to have a lot of reggae nights down at the Beaufoy Arms and dances. You know, it was all right. It was a nice spot. We met Kath through a guy called Fetish, and Fetish is a guy from Berlin who had a group called Terra Nova.
Yeah,
who still is Terra Nova.
Yeah, I know Terra Nova.
And we started our label with him now.
Okay.
Although he's not part of it anymore. But we met Kath through him. Mm-hmm. He'd met her at a boat party, and at the time she was a dancer. Mm. And we were looking for a singer to sing on a track that we had called Elevate My Mind. Mm. And so she came down the studio and
killed it.
We just clicked. And then she did a track and we thought, you know, she probably did a couple more. And we just thought, why don't you come on the road with us? And she did. And then because of her personality and her character, she very easily gelled with us because she wasn't precious about music or anything like that. If you wanted her to contribute, she'd just contribute.
One thing I want to say on camera is for any of you out there that feel you're good at table football, right? Yeah. Listen, I thought I was good. Then I ended up playing with this guy, and what I witnessed was a passion. And this is the same passion that you put in your music ever since I've known you.
I do love table football. It brings out the gladiator spirit.
Mate, all I know is, like, it would probably even not be an exaggeration to say, you know when Samson had the lion's whatever jawbone and he killed all those army men, like all thousands, that's him on a table football. That is pretty much what it is on a table football.
Yeah, I love table football. I grew up on it.
But the point I was making is, like, I saw a certain element of, you know, passion that was there that I've not seen in a long time. I mean, I've played table football with a lot of people. Yeah. But the passion that you had there was just ridiculous. And it was just kind of just flowing. It wasn't forced or anything. And this is what I'm saying. So when it comes to the music, you've translated that to the music.
Whatever you do in life, you want to flow.
Like Bruce Lee, when he goes into a fight situation, it's like he lets everything else out of his mind and just deals with the fight.
Be water, my friend.
That's what I'm saying. It's that water analogy. I mean, there was a time when I remember where you were going through a writer's block, and then Nick called me up and said, can I come and hang out at the studio and, you know, to encourage you and help you along with getting your vibe back to writing. I was a bit confused at that because although we're friends and everything, I was like, why are they getting a depressing guy like me to come in?
You're not depressing. What are you talking about?
No, I was going through a bad patch in my life at the time. So I was depressed and, you know, but I was always also smiley and bubbly and lively and whatever.
Yeah, but that's your strength, Billy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, because even though you're having a hard time, you had the strength to come through. Even though you had your own bad time, to like come through and try to help somebody else. But like, because that's, you know the secret. And the secret is you help someone else and you're helping yourself.
Do you remember that show that we did at the Marquee where we were
I'll never forget that show. Because you used to have jokes. You used to have jokes. I mean, I love that element of your gigs. And I think to a degree in later years, I've really got into that, and to just like calling out, you know, on the gig, during the gig, and just going, I really want to enjoy this, right? And I want to slow it all down a little bit and like just hold the music for a bit, because I just want to vibe with the people a bit, you know. And
we were all busy doing our thing, so that was the first time I actually got to see you guys perform, and it was mind blowing. I was just like, yo, and this is before you blew up, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yo, these guys are going to go so far.
There's a good vibe. There's a good
Mate.
vibe.
And the
small
Marquee's
clubs,
closed
right?
down now as well, which is like really bad because that was such an iconic venue.
Yeah, it's a great
But I
club.
can say we performed at the
Yeah.
Marquee together.
Yeah.
That was unreal. And you know, thank you very much for having me there. It was your decisions that got me on that stage, so I really appreciate that.
Oh, I'm glad you were there. Thank you for playing. You know.
Do you know, I met, I think it was Jonathan Ross. I met Jonathan Ross just before the gig.
Yeah.
He was at a shop buying some earphones or whatever, and he pushed into the queue, and I had to go with him. And I told him he looked fatter in real life than he does on TV.
Oh, good.
Anyway, it's just one of those moments, isn't it?
That's a good one.
Yeah. But yeah, so, I mean, are you still working on music now?
Yeah.
So what's in the pipeline?
Well, we are working on some tracks. Whether it's an album or an EP, I'm not sure yet. But we're working on some tracks. We're doing a remix for a guy called Floyd Levine.
You've done a lot of remixes for a lot of big names. You're Jungle Brothers, Madonna. Plus, you were involved in a group with Jungle Brothers and like Queen Latifah. And
Oh, you mean the Native Tongues? You could say that we were involved in it. That wouldn't be too much of a stretch of the imagination. We were involved in it because we finished our second album, Supernatural, in New York at Calliope Studios.
okay.
And Africa from the Jungle Brothers produced a couple of tracks with us and featured as well.
Okay.
You know, so it was kind of part of the process, and he sort of invited us to be part of the Native Tongues. I can't say we all hang out with each other every night and blah, 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 but, you know, those guys are pretty cool and they're easygoing, and, you know, you do kind of, they used to come, because we were there for a month, we'd had all the downtime at night. So we'd have the downtime, and they used to come by from the clubs, because in New York then, they couldn't get cabs home because cabs wouldn't pick them up. Right, Tribe Called Quest and them guys.
Yeah.
And Jarobi used to sometimes come and crash under the mixing desk.
Unreal.
You know, it was quite funny. I didn't really think about it at the time.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't think too hard about it. And Black Sheep, they used to record down there and stuff like that. And sometimes guys would just come in to see the gear we were using. All our music was sample based, but we didn't use an Akai.
Yeah.
You know, we just had an echo delay unit, a Bell Echo unit, and an 808.
Okay.
And people just couldn't believe that we were surviving on this bit of prehistoric equipment.
What I remember was when we were in the studio, we were listening to a bunch of records. And I've listened to loads of people listen to records, but I never listened to anyone listening to records the same way you did. Like, I mean, you went quite deep. Like, you know what I mean? It's like I did it, and probably Master Mix is the only other person I know who did that. But where everyone else is listening to the guitar riff, you're listening to like the hi-hat below the hi-hat.
After you do something repetitively for a long time, you tune in to a certain... Your ear knows when it hears it. You start to look at the record and you can tell just by looking at the grooves.
Yeah.
You kind of go, I can see there's a break in there somewhere, and I'm going to check that out. And your ear is looking for this charismatic part which says, I'm a break, use me, right? I'm a break. It doesn't matter what it is. It might be a hi-hat beat, it might be a bit of a saxophone or whatever, but it says, I'm a break. It says, I'm beautiful and charismatic, use me, right? And I'm going to sit nice on your groove, and it's like going to be tasty, right? And that's really what my ears were doing. They were just like going, they're waiting.
So basically, if I wanted to be successful further than what I was, really, instead of wasting all them years making music, what I should have done and asked you if I could borrow your ears. I'm wearing this T-shirt for a reason, right? This T-shirt says, smile at the world and the world will smile back at you. Now, when I was at the studio with you, I don't remember if it was you or Nick that said it, but one of you.
That is Nick.
Right, so I just remember, right? Because Nick said to me, you know what, Blade, you're really good at what you do, but maybe because you're kind of depressed in the way you express things, and not through your music, but when you talk to people generally, It's that people can see the depression, but then you just get this mad moment that goes into non-depression, and it's just like, do you know what I mean? It's one of those moments. Yeah. And Nick said something to me. He said this: smile at the world and the world will smile back at you. So I put it in a lyric. But he also said, you know, if you don't show people you're desperate, a lot can change. So when I did The Unknown, I said, maybe next time when you ain't looking desperate, they'll be on you like a rash. You guessed it. They want to know your name, where you're from. See, that's what I'm saying. I've picked up so much from you guys. So I have to thank you on that level. You know what I mean? Because for me, it was life-changing. It provided for my family. Those lyrics, it wasn't just a lyric. It was life-changing.
Yeah, but that's the beautiful thing. I mean, Nick once said something to me. That was,
get a job. This group thing ain't working.
We've had a lot of conversations. He said some funny things to me at times, and that's one of his qualities, is that you can be so deep in your own problem that he just cuts it like a knife and just kind of goes flip, and then you kind of go, oh yeah, oh right. Oh, that was quite simple, really.
That's what I'm saying. Look, I'm so privileged that I got to meet you guys, because I honestly feel like if I hadn't met you guys, my life, I would have ended up in jail or something. You know what I mean? I would have just been on the wrong path, you know. And I don't know. It's like I always had that drive, but sometimes it just takes meeting somebody to just reinstate that. Yeah, and you know, I have to say I thank you for that. I'm not just saying it on camera. I've said it so many times. You know what I mean? But I thank you for that, because I feel like certain things you guys said helped me to get to the next level.
I guess in life you attract things. Yeah, and sometimes you just get a reflection when you meet somebody.
Funny you say that, because I think this was actually in my track Reflection. So yeah, this lyric was in a track called Reflection.
Yeah, nice one. I've always found our relationship to be a positive vibe.
I can't agree with that. I have to disagree. The one time I found it to be negative was when you completely battered me at the table football. That was negative for me.
One blade, man. It's like, yeah, down that studio, I was the champion, man. I was the frontline champion. Only one person beat me down there.
Who was that?
Nick.
Are you serious?
Yeah, Nick beat me. Actually, two people. There was another guy who produced the track with us. Yeah. But we've had some screaming games down there. The most competitive player I played was Jürgen Teller, the photographer.
Okay.
You heard of that guy? He's a famous photographer, right? Fashion photographer.
Okay.
And we did an album for a DJ Kicks series, right?
Okay,
so,
I remember that.
Yeah, it's a big, that's quite a big series they do. And we did an album for them, and we wanted Jürgen, because he used to do photographs for Ziggy at the model agency, and we wanted him to do the covers, the cover pictures. And he said that he'd come and do the pictures for free if we played table football, right? Because he is a keen, and boy, did he sweat, man. And me, I was sweating, and we played serious life and death table football. It was like, nobody wanted to lose. It was like, it was the most intense game of football. We had about 4 or 5 games. We just couldn't drop it. But I didn't let him win.
Well, there you go. This is what I mean. You can't beat this guy. I'm actually amazed that he said that Nick beat him. That's just because I played Nick as well, but I didn't feel as threatened by Nick as I did with
Nick's not that good. Okay. Right? He's not good, but he's jammy.
Oh, okay.
Right? He's jammy. And that is a beautiful thing, being jammy, right? Like Manchester United, sometimes they're jammy.
Especially when they get that 9 minute extra from nowhere.
And you just got to go, well, I love them, because they're just so jammy sometimes, right?
Yeah.
And like, Nick is jammy, and he beat me.
You obviously had a relationship with Island Records.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long did that last? How did it go? You know, why, was that before or after G Street? And now you got another record label that, you know, I'll get you to promote in a second as well.
Great record label.
Yep.
It's like really fantastic record label. Mm-hmm. We used to be down there a lot of the time, especially in the early days before Chris Blackwell sold Island. Those were the best times for us at Island, full of incredible happenings.
Yeah, wicked.
They're a great label.
What you got 8 albums now?
I don't know.
I lost count.
I'm not really sure. I don't like to think about it too much. I tried to just...
Well, you got an immense catalogue then.
We've done a few tunes, for sure, yeah. You know, I mean, there's a lot of tunes I'd like to play again someday that we haven't been playing.
Well, as in live?
Yeah,
as in,
live, yeah.
It's in your hands. Make it happen, innit?
Yeah, I know, I've got to make it happen,
yeah. I don't want to have this conversation a year from now and you're still moaning about, I want to play some tunes, you know? Make it happen.
Yeah.
So you now have your own record label again. You had a publishing...
we did have a publishing label.
Company at one point, and I'm sure you signed Finley Quaye.
That's right, yeah. Jurassic 5.
Jurassic 5.
Yeah.
What a signing.
Finley Quaye, so his releases that I know, were they for your label?
For his first album, Maverick Astrite, we did want to release that album because we had a label then as well. But I can't remember who was our distributor. It was another big label, was basically we were using them to distribute, but they insisted on having control over what we released. So when we found a tune or an artist we liked, we had to put it before them to say, this is what we want to put out. And unbelievably, they didn't want to release Finley's album. So I think it went to Sony in the end. And like, you know, but maybe that was just how it was meant to happen. But he did sign the publishing with us. Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. It's like where you lot come in for me. It's like your ears were bigger than just ears for being artists. You just took things to other levels, you know. And I think I said in the very beginning that, you know, I personally felt like the UK hip hop scene gave you a hard time, and I don't think that was deserved. I think, you know, you guys really, really made headway that a lot of us could have learned from.
As far as I'm concerned, we just got what we needed. You know, the UK hip hop scene, however they felt about us, I think they gave us what we needed.
I think they helped you get to where you got to.
They did.
You know,
they seriously did.
Yeah.
And all of them bottles and things that got thrown at us, it was like that was what we needed.
Yeah.
We needed to improve, right?
Yeah.
We were learning in front of an audience. We were learning a craft. You know, I mean, understandably, the audience is going, "What the hell?" It's like, you know, this ain't that good. It's like, oh, this is crap. But like, you're learning how to do what you do. The only way you can in that is by stepping in front of a crowd
and doing it
and doing it.
Yeah.
And so like we got what we needed. And after we've been through hard crowds, nothing is a problem anymore.
Yeah, a lot of people that I know in the hip hop scene that now pull out your record and go, "That's one of my favorites."
Oh, okay.
You understand? So
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you know, they see it now. They see, a lot of them see it now. They might not go, "Oh, he's the greatest MC of all time" or whatever, but they see what you did and they respect you for it.
It was,
you know?
it's like, I'm grateful for all of that. It really helped us develop.
You want to promote your Facebook page? If anyone wants to check you out, anything, you know, that they want to know about, they can come somewhere. Have you got a website?
Yeah, connected.co.uk is our website. That's for our label. We release sort of a lot of, you know, up and coming artists, underground, Afro house, between Afro house and techno. And for what we're doing, we're going to release on the label as well, because we just thought it was time that we wanted to go back to the roots of where we started, which is in underground electronic music. And so that's where we've gone. But in the modern day, obviously we're not going to sound like the 80s. That's not what it's about.
Do you want to promote your Facebook as well?
Well, you know, just look for Connected Frontline. That's the Facebook page. The Instagram, that will be stereomcs. Anybody out there who, you know, wants to make a life in music, if you need me to give you advice, then you shouldn't be doing music, because you don't need that advice. You just go and do it.
You know what? And we're going to end it on that note. Thank you very much, Rob, for
It's a
being
pleasure,
here.
bro.
It's like,
Always.
you know, I'm amazed I'm in this seat and you're in that seat. You know, like, appreciate
Hey.
it. Really, really good.
Yeah, mate.
So everybody, like, for me, like I said, this is one of my favorite people I've met. Not even one of. Him and Nick are the favorite people that I've met on my musical journey, and I really appreciate everything that they've done for me, the advice they've given me that's helped me progress to other levels. If you don't know who they are, what rock have you been living under? Right? Go and find out about them. stereomcs. This is Rob Birch, and yeah, just basically look for them. You'll be amazed at some of the stuff that's out there, and just go looking. Just keep looking. I'm going to put the description so you can follow him on his Insta, his Facebook, and all that. But for now, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you,
Really
mate.
appreciate it. And if you'd like to see more of this, let us know who you want to talk to, and just subscribe to the channel.